blocked President Donald Trump from removing Federal Reserve Governor Lisa Cook, dealing an early setback to the White House in an unprecedented legal battle over the central bank's independence. The preliminary ruling by Judge Jacob does not decide whether allegations that Cook committed mortgage fraud before taking office constitute legal cause for removal. Cook denies any wrongdoing and maintains she cannot be removed for actions taken before her confirmation in 2022. The case, likely to reach the Supreme Court, could have far-reaching implications for the Fed's autonomy in setting interest rates. The Fed is expected to announce a rate cut in its September 16-17 policy meeting. Trump and Fed Housing Director William Pulte have claimed that Cook provided inaccurate mortgage information, and the Justice Department has launched a criminal probe. Cook has been sued, saying the removal attempt is unlawful and politically motivated. Mr. Andrew Latham, Professor of International Relations, joins us. Mr. Latham, I have to understand from you, does this entire episode somewhere have a lasting impact on the institution's credibility, regardless of what the courts end up deciding?
Well, it could. I mean, there are two schools of thought with respect to independent agencies like the Fed, one of which is that it should be independent of political pressure, that the experts, as it were, should be in a position to set interest rates and things like that. And the other argument is that no, in fact, that's a product of a different time, an historical moment many, many decades ago. And what we really need is a democratically accountable set of institutions like the Fed that are, in fact, responsive to public pressure, not just expert pressures. And so that's an ongoing debate here. This particular episode muddies the waters a little bit in that the claims are not about big issues of principle. They're about whether this particular incumbent is guilty of a crime that was committed beforehand. And it's perhaps about the Trump administration overreaching, not out of principle because they don't like what the incumbent in that office has been doing and saying recently, especially with respect to interest rates. So there's a number of moving parts here, one of which has to do with this administration and this particular Fed governor. The other has to do with a bigger set of issues regarding to what extent should these so-called independent agencies in fact be independent, or should they be democratically accountable?
But at the same time, Mr. Latham, I also want to, of course, understand from you. The judge's preliminary ruling is hinged on the argument that the for-cause removal does not apply to actions taken before the governor's confirmation. But if this precedent is upheld, what does it mean for the vetting process of future nominees?
Well, it means that it'll have to be far more thorough if we're going to go back and look at pre-appointment conduct and whether there was anything that was shady, let alone illegal. Then there's going to have to be a far more thorough and long-term vetting process. And I don't see anything wrong with that. If somebody has proven that they are capable of serious misconduct, technically, possibly legally defrauding the banks, then that should be something that should be taken into consideration, perhaps held against them. I don't know by what logic simply judging them on the basis of what they've done since going into office is. If this is about character and about conduct and about competence over the long run, then we'll see if this goes up to the U.S. Supreme Court, what they have to say. But right now, I don't have any serious reservations about what this judge has found.
Right, absolutely. Ms. Latham, thank you so much for joining us on NewsX World with that perspective. And that's all that we have time for. We will continue to bring you more updates from around the world on the other side. Stay tuned.